Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to be checking the Echoes of Gehenna expansion pack. This is a very interesting pack if you never have the chance to get event cards. When you open your packs, never got them, right now you have this opportunity. Or if you are a new player, this is a nice chance to complete your collection. So there is also 5 vampires with 5 copies each. And the one we have in front is Alicia Cortez. That is the one I like mainly for a deck that I'm preparing for, a kind of La Sombra anti-tribu, kind of anti-tribe concept that I'm preparing. So let's go. So we have a token here of Anarch. And we will start with Joseph Fischer, that is a Gangrel anti-tribu with Protean at Major. It's capacity 3, group 5, and it's an Anarch. We have 5 copies of this guy. Then we have Styles Margs. It's also Gangrel anti-tribu, and it is capacity 5, group 5, is Sabbat. Bloodhound referendums called on Styles get +2 votes in favor of the referendum. This guy has Protean and Celerity at Major and Animalism at Minor. 5 copies also. Then we have Alabástrom. What a kind of Swedish name he has. He's a gargoyle and his capacity is 7. The group is 6. He's an Anarch, and if Alabástrom is ready during your turn, you can unlock another ready gargoyle you control, and he has flight. He has Visceratica at Major, the gargoyle discipline. It has Potence at Major. It also has Fortitude at Minor, Celerity at Minor, and Auspex at Minor. Another 5 copies. Then we have Alicia Cortez. She's a La Sombra. I don't know if it's a La Sombra or La Sombra anti-tribe right now. I don't know how to call it exactly, but it's capacity 8. It is group 4. It's a Camarilla Prince of Tampa. And after Alicia performs a successful directed action, she can discard a political action card to lock a younger vampire controlled by one of the target Matusalens. And she has the 3 disciplines at Major. So it has Obtenebration, it has Dominate, and Celerity. Another 5 copies. This is a Apolonia Czarnecki or Czarnecki. I don't know very well. It looks kind of Polish name. This one is Malkavian. It's the one that was in the previous First Blood for starters, in the Malkavian starter. And she's group 5, capacity 7. It's Camarilla, and Apolonia can steal 1 blood from a younger vampire as a direct action. It has Offuscate at Major, Dementation at Major, Auspex at Major, and Presence at Minor. 5 copies also. Okay, and then we have az-Zahra. az-Zahra is a Toreador. Is 9 capacity. From group 5 is an Anarch. It has an interesting ability. During the polling step of any referendum, Aisha can burn 1 blood to get +1 vote for each ready Anarch you control. And also has +1 bleed. That is always an amazing ability to have. It has 3 disciplines at Major that are Presence, Celerity, and Auspex. And then at Minor, it has Quietus and also Offuscate. And yeah, that's everything about the Crypt cards. Okay, this is the 5 of them. And now we are gonna go mainly with events. There is also another kind of cards, but like the fee stakes, but mainly this is what we are gonna be trying to put it in a proper place. Okay. So we have Absimiliard's army, that is Gehenna event. Requires 1 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until a Matusalem is ousted. During each Matusalem unlock block, that Matusalem can put the top card of their library in play, face up. It becomes a nameless, textless, ghoul ally with 2 life, 2 strength, and 1 bleed. After that ally is burned, or this event leaves play, remove that ally from the game. After a Matusalem is ousted, burn this card. 1 copy. Blood Trade, also an event of Gehenna. Burn all boons. Number boons can be put in play. During each Matusalem unlock phase, that Matusalem can move 1 blood from a vampire they control to a vampire controlled by another Matusalem. Melee is 1 copy of all of them. So, Block Weekends event Gehenna. Do not replace until a vampire commits Diablerie. Cards minions play requiring any disciplines are not replaced until the end of the current action or until a Matusalem hand is empty, whichever comes first. Vampires who commit Diablerie ignore the effect until a Gehenna event is played. Conquest of Humanity event of Gehenna. Requires 2 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until your next discard phase. During each Matusalem's unlock phase, that Matusalem can choose a location controlled by their prey. The chosen location is burned unless its controllers burns 2 pool. Fall of Camarilla. Gehenna requires 3 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace as long as this card is in play. There is no Camarilla. Instead, Camarilla vampires are considered independent. Now is coming the Sabbat one. Fall of the Sabbat. Gehenna requires also 3 or more other Gehenna events in play. Not usable if a ready vampire is Black Hand. Do not replace as long as this card is in play. There is no Sabbat. Instead, Sabbat vampires are considered independent. FBI Special Affairs Division. Government. If an ally is burned in combat with an acting vampire, add 1 counter to this card and inflict 2 unpreventable environmental damage on the acting vampire after combat ends. If this card has 4 counters, burn it. Fiestake of Boston is an action. +1 stealth action requires an anarch with capacity 5 or more is a title. Put this card on this anarch to represent the unique anarch title of Baron of Boston. While this anarch is Toreador or Toreador anti-tribu, they get +1 vote during referendums they call. Vampires can call a referendum to burn this card as a +1 stealth political action during that referendum. Non-anarch titles are worth -1 vote. Then we have the Fiestake of New York. It's exactly the same, but if you control Bruja or Bruja anti-tribu. Also we have the Fiestake of Seattle. That is the same for Gangrel and Gangrel anti-tribu. The fourth cycle requires 2 or more Gehenna events in play. After this card enters play, burn all Gehenna events and conviction cards. They send all vampires with capacity 3 or less to torpor. Gehenna events cannot be played. Fueled by Heart's Blood. Gehenna do not replace until vampires commit Diablerie. The card comes in play with 10 counters. After another Gehenna event is played, burn 1 counter from the card. Blood hands cannot be called on vampires with capacity greater than the number of counters on this card who diablerise a younger vampire. Yeah, correct. I was double reading the last part. Narrow Minds. Very interesting one in Kono. Do not replace until your next unlock phase. Minion cards that change the target of bleed action cost +1 blood or life. So telepathic tracking or deflections, those kind of cards will cost a bit more. The new Inquisition, Gehenna, requires one or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until the title vampire goes to torpor. During each Mathusalen's unlock phase, that Mathusalen can choose a raid vampire controlled by their prey. This chosen vampire takes 1 unpreventable environment damage. Title vampires can call a referendum to burn this card as +1 stealth political action. Nightmares upon nightmares. Gehenna. Do not replace until your next discard phase. During each Mathusalen unlock phase, for each minion they control, they lock that minion unless they discard a card. Cards discarded this way are not replaced until the master phase. Mortal allies and vampires with capacity greater than the number of Gehenna events in play ignore this effect. The Parthenon. This is a master card that costs 2 pull. Its unique location. During your master phase, you can lock this card to get +1 master phase action. Recall to the Founder. Event. It's a Gehenna event. Requires 2 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace as long as this card is in play. During each Mathusalen's unlock phase, if that vampire controls 3 or more vampires of the same clan, they burn one of those vampires. If the vampire's capacity is 6 or more, that Mathusalen ignores this effect until the end of the game. Restricted Vitae. Gehenna, do not replace until a vampire successfully hunts. Vampires cannot hunt unless they must hunt. Vampires who must hunt can steal 1 blood from a younger vampire as a direct hunt action. Rise of the Nephtali. Or Nephtali. Okay, Gehenna requires 1 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until a vampire becomes a liaison. Independent vampires can receive the unique independent title of liaison. I don't know how to pronounce. Worth 4 votes. I thought it looks kind of French word. As an action. If this title would be contested with a younger vampire, the younger vampire immediately yields instead of contesting. 4 votes, interesting. The Slow Withering. Gehenna requires 1 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until a vampire commits diablerie. Cards requiring any disciplines at the superior level cost +1 blood. Vampires who commit diablerie ignore this effect until a Gehenna event is played. First, Gehenna. After each Mathusalen minion phase ends, each ready vampire controlled by that Mathusalen with capacity less than the number of Gehenna events in play who did not hunt during the minion phase burn 1 blood. Torpid Blood. Gehenna, do not replace until a vampire moves from torpor to the ready region. Actions performed by vampires in torpor cost +1 blood. Rescuing an older vampire from torpor cost +1 blood. The Uncoiling. Do not replace as long as this card is in play. During your discard phase, burn another event at random. Other Mathusalens can use a discard phase action and burn X pool to burn this card, where X is the number of other events in play. The last one, Wormwood. Gehenna requires 1 or more other Gehenna events in play. Do not replace until your next discard phase. This card comes into play with 10 counters. After another Gehenna event is played, burn 1 counter from this card. vampires with capacity greater than X are considered vampires with capacity X, minimum of 1, where X is the number of counters on this card. And this is everything. It's a very, very interesting expansion pack to get. So thanks to the Black Chantry staff to make it possible. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like it, give it a like and those things. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.